Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. I've got a big pile of wood chips here. I've started laying some, and today I hope to get a few more beds done in the back. If you're enjoying my channel, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and even that notification bell if you're interested in getting notified anytime a new video comes out. Well, I garden here in Michigan in Zone 5B, and it's been unseasonably warm. It is probably about 80 degrees today. That's going to be the high, and it was the same yesterday. And so I'm doing a little bit more around the yard than I normally would this time of year. So getting mulch down is really important. I like to lay about an inch over established beds. And for new beds, I might even lay in up to 3 inches to help protect from the weeds. But most of my beds get a fresh layer of mulch every year. So let's get started. So mulch is fantastic. It will break down and make better soil for you. The insects and things like that will enjoy it. It helps to protect from any weeds getting in your yard so that you don't have to pull weeds as often. It also helps to keep the moisture in. So it just rained recently. One thing to remember about that though is that if your ground is dry, and you want it to be moist and retain the moisture, don't put the mulch on top of dry soil, because if the soil is dry before you mulch it, it will help to keep it dry. So water it and then mulch it. I don't have that problem here in the spring. If we mulch every spring, it's really easy to do because the ground is already wet from the rain, and so it just helps to retain the moisture for the whole season, and it looks really great and helps your plants to really pop. So let's take a look at what we've done so far, and then we'll look at one of the other beds that we're going to work on doing today. So you can see here I'm really working my way through these beds. I started at this end and did all 3 of these, and now we're just working on this bed in the front and coming around to this other side. Once we're finished with this, I'm going to leave the back edge undone for a while. That'll be the last one. It's not as high of a priority because there's lots of leaf mulch back there protecting the plants. So if I run out of mulch and have to get some more, that's okay. That can wait. So I'd like to also get this round circle bed done today, and then this half moon that is next to the pool, at the end of the pool. And this bed has lots of mulch on it right now, but as you can see, the 2 colors don't match. So I think it's going to look a whole lot nicer once I get the forest brown over the whole thing. But I won't put a lot down because it's got plenty of mulch. Again, I'm just trying to get the mulch colors to match, so I'll put maybe ½ inch on there, just enough to cover the top. And then if you look closely, this is a new no-dig bed that I established last year. There are some dandelions, which are perennial weeds, and they are very tough, so they are coming up. So I'm going to come through here in this bed, and before I put the mulch down, I am going to spray them. And that way, whoops, and that way the spray will be on these dandelions underneath of the mulch, and it will continue to just take them out. And some people do organic gardening. I try to do organic as much as possible, but I find that when it comes to really pesky weeds and trying to keep them out, especially when you're establishing a new bed, or you have an invasive weed, it's best to just go with the big guns and get out the Roundup or some other form of spray like that. So let me get out the sprayer and we'll do that, and we'll get another load of mulch, and then we'll come back and finish out these beds here. Okay, you do want to be very careful when using this stuff. Definitely wear gloves. In addition to that, make sure that you spray it very close to the plants, because any plants that are touched by this will likely die. So I'm going to be very careful in putting it right next to the leaves of the plants that I want to kill. Another thing to remember about this stuff is it's so potent that you won't be able to plant in the places where you killed the weeds, so just remember that as well. So last year, at the end of the year, I was making this bed, and a perfect example of good mulch versus junk mulch, I ended up having to get this really chunky black mulch in bags from the store, and it's pretty awful, but I needed something to help suppress the weeds, and so it works, it does its function. But now I'm covering it up with what we call forest ground mulch that I got from a local place that shreds and delivers. And so you may say to yourself, bags, delivery, what's more economical? Well, the stuff that's delivered is a little bit fluffier, and there is a delivery fee, so it's not as compacted as in the bags. I only buy bag mulch when I may need some after our giant delivery in the spring. That way also I cut down on the number of plastic bags. But if you have a very small area to mulch, it makes absolutely no sense to have a giant delivery. Now, there are places where you can simply go and shovel a 5-gallon bucket full of mulch and pay for that, and they'll let you take it. So check around and see what you like. Also, you know, don't be a mulch hater. There are definitely strong preferences about what people like for mulch. I'd be interested to hear in the comments what your favorite mulches are. I see people who like black mulch. I find that it gets really hot in the sun, so I don't really like that. And then there are the red mulch people who really like the way that that looks against the green, because they're like the opposite colors and they help to set each other off. I don't really like that. It definitely fades over time and it just looks so unnatural to me. So we like this color, which is forest brown. We've been going with it for many years now. And once you kind of settle on a color, it's good to stick with it. It makes it easier when you're making new beds or replacing a plant during the season, and you can have the same source for that mulch over time. So think about those things. You can mulch with lots of different type of products. I just prefer to use the hardwood mulch because it breaks down a little bit slower, and it works really well in our climate that gets cold in the winter. All right, well, let's finish up this bed and then take a look around to see what we've done. Since I put the rocks in the other day, it's definitely important for me to get the mulch right up against the rocks on this side to help keep the grass from creeping into this bed. but I think I did a pretty good job with the rock, so it's not too bad, and seems to be very minimum in terms of what I need to cover up. Well, everybody, it's not perfect, but I have definitely come to a point where I would like to take a break. So I haven't covered up the brown mulch in this bed, but I'm ready to show you guys what I accomplished today. Let's take a look. So this is the bed at the end of the pool. And again, I didn't cover up the small portions of brown on the inside. I really need to get a whole nother load of mulch to do that, and I'm not going to do that right now, but we'll get to that shortly, maybe later on today. Looks so nice, so much nicer. It blends better even though it's not the same color brown yet. And then let's just take a quick pan of these gorgeous beds back here, you guys. I'm so happy to see them with fresh mulch in them. My mermaid bath, the birds have just been loving. My levitating Buddha, he's probably loving the new mulch too. And while I haven't done the back beds, I did mulch around those two boxwoods because I planted those last week. So I thought it would be good to keep the moisture in around them since they're newly planted. And you can see what a big difference the mulch makes in the way that the garden looks. While the garden looks nice back here in terms of the plantings, it certainly doesn't have that pop or the wow factor that you get once you have some gorgeous mulch going on. You could see the difference on the two sides here as you wander down the path as well. Well, thanks for joining me on my mulch journey today. It's not finished, but hopefully in the next few days. All right, well, thanks for joining me today again. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun today. I'll see you next time. Bye.